First thing I'm going to do today before we do the dummy launcher is do what we were doing yesterday, which is Gus will be on a leash. I use the dummy launcher without a dummy in it and just have him do a retrieve. Then we'll do the dummy launcher. But he has to be compliant. Gus, here. Come on, heel. Come on, buddy, heel. Heel. Sit. Gus is a typical Labrador, and that he's extremely excitable. A leash or not? We'll try without the leash. He was pretty good yesterday. But when you use the dummy launcher, the sound of the gunfire makes it much more exciting. Gus, sit. It's good. No. Gus. Watch this. He left early. A little early, but it's fine. Look at how he sort of clobbers the dummy and isn't doing the retrieve proper. You need to look, people need to look beyond this. This is not a good sign for this dog. This dog is very excitable and lives in a house. Okay, this isn't a dog that lives in a kennel. Now see, this is excitement. He's screwing up. Hold. He's being non-compliant due to excitement. Excitement is the point all dogs make a mistake. We're going to do it again, and I'll do it a couple more times until Gus actually calms down. The dog lunges or bites or just doesn't listen or barks. Excitement, you have to push the dog past the point of excitement, and that's what I'm trying to do. No, God. Too excited. We're not going to do the dummy launcher yet. Notice how he runs past the dummy. Gus, pick it up, hold, and get over here, heel. And he's being terrible. Come on, man, heel. Over here, heel, hold. Man, pick it up. Look at what he's doing. Do it. Heel, set, hold. This is a puppy still, granted. The snow is exciting to Gus. Heel. Get over here. Sit. Now, since he screwed up, now the leash goes back on him. I gave him the opportunity, and he screwed up. So now we'll put the leash on him and see if we can get him calmer so that we can get through this session. Sit. That's another thing that people don't do is they don't use a leash in the house. So dogs just, they go by the wayside because of this. There's no proper training. It's all about talking baby talk to the dog. You know, not teaching the dog that the dog needs to do it right. And to have expectations of a puppy Labrador, leaving it out of the crate or something, like it's just nonsense. 40%, 46% of all the dogs that are adopted or bought in the first year, puppies, are given up the first year. They're surrendered the first year. No. And that would take this off. I don't want him to know I'm taking off. I'm not making any sound. No, sit. Gus. In that 46%, it's 46% of pit bulls and Labradors, which are the most common breeds. Labradors are a beautiful breed, but they take a lot of training. This notion that they're easy to train is nonsense. It's nonsense. It's a very active dog. This isn't a dog that could be used as a guide dog. You got to be kidding me. Even with a guide dog, you're talking about less than 1% out of the litter from parents that are guide dogs that would meet the cut. Get it, heel, hold. This dog is indicative of a dog that would be used is field stock for hunting. You better get your ass in fucking heel. Listen to how I'm talking to the dog, but I'm not, I'm giving him high pressure. But I don't want him to get too excited, so I'm putting the leash back on him. I'm making sure that he knows he needs to do it right. We're not doing the dummy launcher with Gus. Because he is not doing it right. He's not behaving. Until he's calming down a bit. Now, snow is an issue, the dummy launcher itself, but the dog needs to get better at this. And by not working with the dog, it is not going to help the dog. No. I did not release her. Imagine you have a dog like this size, and somebody rings the doorbell. It just takes once or twice for the dog to be conditioned to clobber the person coming in the house. Right now. Heel. Sit. I'm using a tone with Gus. I'm telling him to get his shit together and pick that dummy up and get over here, dummy.
Heel, sit, hold. Now he has one more opportunity to do this and do it right. If he does not do it right, we are not doing the dummy launcher. That's it. So he needs to do it right. And you might say that I'm nitpicky. I'm not being nitpicky. He's fucking around. He's not paying attention. He's not doing anything that I'm telling him to do. He's not coming to heel. He's going back there and dropping it. Sit. No, sit.
Now with the dummy launcher and the dummy on the dummy launcher, it's much louder, and you have the object leaving the dummy launcher. It's much more exciting. Even though we're using a very light load with this dog.
Now you get your ass in heel now, man. Heel. Heel, right there. Heel. Come on, man. Heel. Do not drop.
Look at how he dropped it.
Heel. Sit.
That dummy should never touch the ground. Look at how he's sitting out to the side.
I'm going to give him one more opportunity.
I'm going to give him one more opportunity.
Better this time. Get a heel now.
It's not helpful if the dog just keeps screwing up. Okay? If your dog is screwing up and you just let it keep screwing up, you're training it to screw up. Don't be unrealistic. Like I said, 46% of these dogs are giving up. 46% of all breeds are giving up. You got pit bulls, Labradors, and then German Shepherds.
Listen to my tone. Sit. No. Gus, no.
The first year.
No.
The first year.
No. Gus.
Why? Because look at this puppy. This puppy's a big dog.
Oh.
You can imagine it eating the couch or something, just running around the house, being unruly.
Right now, brother,
This dog isn't done training. The owners are going to have to train this dog and work with it, or else it won't work out for the dog. He'll be in that percentage of 46%. Imagine a dog bites. You get a puppy and you say you love the puppy, but as soon as the puppy bites someone, people have a different tone. And if it bites one of the owners or the kid of the owner, I guarantee you the dog gets, is surrendered. We're still trying to see if we can get Gus to be calmer and be compliant. He's still screwing up.
Gus! Hold, heel, right here, man. Heel, do not do it. Hold, heel. Heel! Pick it up and put it in your mouth and get a heel. No, man, heel. No, heel. Sit. Better, we're going to try it one more time.
Going to try it one more time because he is a little bit more compliant.
Why? Is because when we do the dummy launcher, it's so much louder because the dummy's on it. So it's going to cause much more excitement. Sit. No, sit. Gus.
It's a very excitable breed. I've owned many Labradors. I've trained many Labradors. I lived with them when I was a kid. They need extensive training.
Right here, man. Heel. Right here, heel. Hold.
Listen to my tone.
Hold. You do not drop that. God damn it. Sit.
Listen to me. He needs to learn not to do it.
He's coming in
and do it right.
That's not what I want him to do. That's not what we've been training him to do. He needs to continue holding it. If you allow them to do this, he'll just keep doing it. He'll keep screwing up. Now get it, heel, do it right. Heel. Come on, man, heel. No, man, get your ass in heel. Let's go. Sit.
46% of all puppies that are acquired are giving up the first year. Just remember that statistic. And all this BS of, I'd never give up my dog. I love it. Bullshit. Bite your kid, you give it up. That's the way it goes. Dogs get screwed. They're expendable. It's bullshit. This is a large dog. There's a lot of large dogs. All three breeds. See, he did it right this time.
He did that right. Now we'll do the dummy launcher. If I would have done it beforehand, it surely would have gone bad. You cannot be letting the dog screw up and then give them what they want. Which this is what he wants. Here's the dummy launcher. Let's see if he can...
I think anybody that gets a puppy that doesn't have a professional work with it is a fool. That's why we have 4 million dogs.
Step a little bit
4 million dogs and 4 million people getting bitten every year. 4 million dogs are die in shelters every year, or put down. So he ran past it. He's got it. See how he's excited again.
Come on,
Let's
man.
see how he does. See how he finishes. Yeah, he went way too far, but he's still holding it.
No, sit. Hold. Drop. Good.
It was terrible, but we can work this out.
That's it. Now, as far as his complaints, he goes, he went and got the dummy. He did not drop it back there because, once again, I said no hold. The only thing that it would have been perfect, except he was a little out to the side and sort of, cocked out to the side, not sitting in a perfect heel. But this would be successful. I think I'll try one more. Excitement where she starts screwing up is totally different than Gus's. It's different. Like Gus goes on a retrieve, he's sliding in the snow, he's coming back, he's dropping the object. That's not Toto. Toto's is right before the object leaves the hand, or right when the report happens. So we're not going to even throw a retrieve, it's not even important. Every dog's different. So if I can get her to sort of sit and maintain and not move, then I'll put a dummy launcher on her and she'll retrieve. But she has to do it better than she's been doing it lately. So it might take just as long as it did with Gus to get her to do the dummy launcher retrieve. Can't rush it. This is the way it's done with this dog. Toto, heel. Heel, sit.
Like I said, Toto is a completely different dog than Gus. She's about the same age. I'm putting the leash on her. She has other things going on. She's not perfect. She just...
She gets her ass up. That's disrespecting me. Sit.
She can do some things a little bit better than Gus, and Gus can do some things better than Toto.
That's good.
But you see how she is now. Watch her do a retrieve here. Or she's not gonna do this. She's just gonna do a flat out dummy launcher retrieve. I'm just making sure that she's calm by firing the dummy launcher. And if you see she's sort of gotten used to this and she's acting calmer. That's what I want to see. So we're going to do it another time. We'll use this a couple times. Just make she's being totally compliant. Not that Gus was sort of being compliant at this point, but then once Gus starts running, he starts screwing up. You know, it's too much for him running in the snow, whatever. So here's the dummy launcher with Toto. Let's see how she does. I have her on leash, as you notice. To fire the dummy launcher, a little bit of movement.
Toto.
There she goes. And see, she'll get the retrieve, and she's going to spin into heel, is my guess. And do fairly good. See? See how she's coming right back? She goes, that isn't what Gus is doing. Toto's being much more compliant with this.
See? Do you see the difference between her and Gus? Gus is going 10 feet behind me. He's dropping it. He's doing whatever. She goes and gets it. Yesterday she had trouble. If we tried the dummy launcher, she wouldn't go pick it up because the smell caused too much excitement. But now she's functioning. So let's give Toto one more dummy launcher retrieve and see if she can pull it off. Come here, heel.
So they're two different dogs. You really can't, judge the dogs because, like I said, like one dog is doing good at one thing and then another, it's just different points in their training. They're both very similar at the levels that they are. I mean, they both need more work. So Toto would be a problem. Same thing. You wouldn't want to leave Toto out in a house at this point, unattended. You wouldn't want to leave her, in the backyard unattended all day and stuff like that. You wouldn't want to do that. That would you could end up like the dog getting in trouble. Toto might, because of her breed, might have, she's not soft-mouthed. The labs are notoriously soft-mouthed. That's not to say that a lab's tooth couldn't get stuck on a little kid. They can, and it happens all the time. A bite is a bite. So, see how she spins in the heel?
up. That's good.
That's pretty.
So that was a dud. It doesn't matter. By the way, I'm using number 1 loads. I'm using the smallest, lightest loads with both dogs. And we'll do this for a couple more days before we go up to 2. And then we'll go to 3. So many people are so stupid with doing this. So go start off with 2s and 3s. Medium loads. Don't do that. Don't use 3s. Don't use 4s. Don't use the green level to start out. You use the brown, and then you go to 1, 2, and then do the green. That's the way it's done. It doesn't matter if you're doing duds either. If these get wet, by the way, and you put them in, they won't go anywhere because the water screws it up. So they won't even leave the dummy launcher. But if you want to take the ring off, even to make it less, if you could get the dummy to go 5 feet. And the dog goes and gets it with the dummy, that's success. That's what you consider success. You build the dog up. Don't start out with the green level. You start out with 1. You're just gonna cause yourself problems. Build the dog up. You don't just like, oh, my dog's gonna do great. Such a mistake. Such a mistake. Toto, heel. Sit. So she's better as far as movement goes, but that's something that we're still gonna work on. The next time we do dummy launcher retrieves, I'll put both dogs in the down position, especially her, because she'll have less apt to move. If I had another dummy with me, do I? Oh, I do.
Now here's Gus again. And what we're doing here is we're doing reverse retrieves, but instead of doing them on the porch, we're doing them in an area where we've never done them before. So this is going to cause excitement again. Once again, this is about proofing the dog. We need to push them past the point of excitement. I'm walking up there with him because look at him. See how he gives me a refusal. See what he's doing here? It's too much excitement. He can't function. See, he drops it. This is very common. I didn't expect this to go real good, but we get him to put it in. That's the important thing. You have to sort of maintain and get the dog to function with what you ask them to do. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to walk up with Gus. I'm going to walk up with him, make sure that he does this because I know it's not going to go well. Look at him. Oh, he got it in. That's good. See the level of excitement in this dog? Imagine the UPS guy comes to the door or a relative comes over and then they start petting the excited dog. See the problem? Or say a dog like this lives with a kid and the kids just give positive reinforcement. Gus made it, is trying to make it in, but I'm going to walk up and make sure that he gets it in. But you understand that the children are always giving the dogs positive reinforcement. It's a very big problem. So you got an excited dog that's running around, and then you have the little human that is essentially telling the dog that that's good what they're doing. It's a huge problem. Like I said, 46% of dogs are, the first year are giving up. And a lot of those are labs. And a lot of those are pits, and a lot of those are German shepherds. It's across the board. It doesn't really matter what the breed is. So don't think that there's a breed that isn't given up, or there's a breed that is easier to train. It doesn't exist. They're all difficult to train, and they all need training. They're all the same in varying degrees. So they're all a subspecies of the wolf. There's a lot of bite histories on Labradors. There's Labradors that have killed people. It exists. Don't think that it doesn't. See how he's so excited he can't really, he's not functioning real well. He's so excited. Imagine the big dog running around your house doing this. You leave toys on the floor and the dog's acting like that. It's throwing it around your house, getting more and more excited. More and more excited. Never leave toys on the floor for your dog. The toys are to be used with the human. They should have nothing. A dog like this at this age, should have stuff that it works with a human. It shouldn't have a bunch of stuff in its crate. It shouldn't have stuffed animals to chew on so that you end up with a big vet bill. puppies don't need bedding in the crate. That's nonsense. You end up with a big vet bill. They have to go in and get that stuff. They start chewing on the bedding. Dog like this, Labradors are notorious for chewing stuff up. The soft-mouthed dog. The Goldens, notorious for this. They're soft-mouthed, yes, but they love to chew on toilet paper. You don't leave them uncrated when they're puppies and you use the leashes in the house. Because when the dog goes into the bathroom and starts chewing up the toilet paper, that's not so cute when they're doing that at 3 years of age. I can't stand those shots on Facebook and whatever. Oh, isn't it cute? Look, the dog destroyed the kitchen. You're a fucking asshole. And you're going to be giving that dog up because you're going to get sick of it. And if you have a dog like that and you try and use corporal punishment on the dog, they get worse. You're training them to do it. You are. You're fucking training them to do it. You have to be very careful. If you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to screw the dog up and make it worse, not better. And the goal is to make your dog better and more compliant. But to be unrealistic and think that a dog is going to be, within 6 months or something, you get a puppy and at 6 months the dog's going to be good and you didn't really work with it proper, or you didn't work with it at all, you just gave it love. Love isn't enough for the dog. Notice how he's getting it close. He's getting better at this. And I'm not having to walk all the way to the receptacle. He is getting it in there. He's into this. He just isn't used to doing it in this area. But we had to push the dog past the point of excitement. We had to proof the dog. They all need to be sort of pushed past the point of excitement. Let's see if he gets it in. Yeah, he's putting it in. He's doing real good. Now, we did this again today. He did real good. Toto's up next. And Toto didn't do so good today. Toto's sort of stumbling with this for some reason, but it really doesn't matter. I'll have a video on why she's stumbling, and I know why she's stumbling. See, Gus was taught totally different. Hold. He was taught with using like a little ear pressure. Toto wasn't. So now we're just backtracking and going over that with Toto so that she knows that she needs to be compliant. If the dog, if I get a refusal from her, she has to go pick it up. You can't use the e-collar if you didn't use the ear pressure to treat the dog, train the dog. So I don't use an ear pinch. I just use ear pressure. Now a lot of dog trainers are using an ear pinch. I don't find it necessary. But if you use the ear pressure at a point you get a refusal, then you could use an e-collar and say no. And, condition that in. But if you haven't used the ear pressure and you get a refusal, the dog isn't going to understand it. They need that sort of physicality, that on and off, like pressure on, pressure off. And hold is one of those things that if they learn it proper, they get better. Gus is ahead of Toto right now. I might not look at in this session, but like today he did awesome at this. He was taking him the whole distance and putting him in the receptacle and not giving me, too many refusals. He did real good. So notice how I'm using the bamboo. It's like a healing stick. It's an extension of my arm. So now we're going to go in the other direction, and I want Gus to put it in the bucket down there. And this might stump him a little bit, but it doesn't matter. We need to push the dog past the point of excitement and get him to do it. So we're going to stay on target with Gus and make sure, see, he dropped it. He needs to pick it up and put it in. It's not too much, I'm giving him some gruff with my voice. I'm using a pressure wave with my voice, a tone. You better pick that up, stuff like that. You better knock that crap off. Get it in there, big boy, shit like that. But, there's no, he's not really doing anything. Let the punishment fit the crime. I want him to know that he's disappointed, so I am using a more negative tone. Now, the retrieve itself is positive reinforcement, so the reverse retrieve, so he likes doing it. So at a point, when dogs are doing retrieves, reverse retrieves, that's the positive reinforcement right there. You might, with this excited dog, like a dog like this, you start saying good, but you give him too much of a tone, like you talk baby talk to him or something, it might cause too much excitement and then the dog's screwing up and just doing it worse. So watch your tone with the dog, and remember the act the command itself is positive reinforcement. So you don't have to be, definitely don't train your dog with food. That's nonsense. That's just nonsense, thinking that you have to train the dog with food. I don't use any food to train these dogs. We just use positive reinforcement in the form of play and praise. That's it. That's all you need to do. Running is a act of positive reinforcement. The door is a point of positive reinforcement. That's why when you're at the door, you have the dog calm before it goes out the door. So many dogs that are in the city are screwed up because the owner has the dog excited going through the door, and then they see another dog down the street, and then you get a leash reactive dog. But more than likely, that's also caused by the owners letting the dog sleep in the bed, and that's just a fact. I'm sorry if you want to disagree with me, but there's so many studies out. It's ridiculous. You want the dog to sleep in your bed? I'll tell you where I see that is the most common is chicks about my age, like they're sick of dudes, and they get a dog, and then all of a sudden the dog is like their surrogate boyfriend or something. And the dog's sleeping in the bed, and then they start having issues with the dog. They can't tell the dog, no, you can't sleep in the bed. It's too emotional for them. They're making decisions about their dog based on emotions, not logic. So it's a subspecies of the wolf. At 6 months, a terrier can jump over a picnic bench, kill and eat a rat. That's a fact. This dog, at 6 months, couldn't jump over a picnic bench and kill and eat a rat, but nevertheless, it is a subspecies of the wolf. They all need training. It really doesn't matter. Even these soft-mouthed dogs, especially, these ones that have this reputation of being like, it's a Labrador, it's super sweet. Yeah, well, they are sweet, but that doesn't mean that they don't need training. This dog, like, it's a level of training. Like, this dog would still be a problem, and I would say that would be the same of most dogs that are this age. They're still maybe in the teenage months. They're seeing what they can get away with. When you first get a dog, you train the crap out of it for the first year and a half, 2 years. That's just a fact. If you get your dog trained, like you've sent it off to get aboard and trained. That's so that you can get the dog conditioned so that you can start working with the dog. That's why you do it. You still have to work with the dog. This notion of like, just get a dog and then it'll just like wander around the house, or, we'll just put it in the backyard and things go well. No, it doesn't go well for dogs that are in the backyard unattended. That's a sign of a bad owner. That's it. Dogs get out. Dogs eat things in backyards. I tell you what's the worst time for the dog in the backyard is 4th of July. You think your dog can't get out of the fence? Wait until 4th of July happens. They'll get out. They can climb fences. By the way, don't lean over a fence petting a dog. You're teaching them to climb out. Anything like that. Fireworks, man, that's the worst time. The dog flips out. See, he's doing pretty good. He's picking up on this. He's doing retrieves. And I'm standing about halfway in between. Now refusal, I'm sending him back to go get the object. And then I'm having him do the reverse retrieve, and I'm not having to walk all the way up. That doesn't mean, like, say if this was my dog, that I would just like, he's done training. You gotta be kidding me. Look at it. See, it's still sort of like wandering around doing whatever. Just picture him wandering around doing whatever in your house. That's what dogs do. People don't get it. Like I was dealing with this friend of mine that had this puppy, this like Labradoodle type puppy. I don't know what it was, Aussie Doodle, whatever. And the dog was 13 weeks old, and he's like, not using a crate because I thought the dog would like not being out of the crate. Oh, I see. Yeah, so if the dog likes it, yeah, that's what you should do. They like a lot of stuff. And they like stuff, and you can make them compliant, too, with training. That's the point. So what do you want? You want a dog wandering around just doing instinctual shit whatever it wants to do, you know, and getting in trouble and fucking your shit up, and you have no communicative, you know, there's no type of communication with the dog. It's just the communication is, oh, the dog fucked up, you know, and you're screaming at the dog or doing whatever, which is even worse. And the dog's ears are down, and look, and then people say, oh, well, he knows he did something wrong. The dog's flipping out because the dog knows that you're flipping out. It doesn't have any idea what it did. You condition the crap into your dog by not using crates and letting your dog walk around the house. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare for most dogs.
No.
Now this would be Toto, and Toto actually was terrible today doing this. And you see, she's having some issues here. Toto's in it. She's used to doing it on the porch. You know, she has it in her mouth, and she's going in a down position. Like, I don't really know what her deal is. There was some things that happened with Toto lately, which would sort of explain some stuff. But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter because Toto just needs she needs more training. She does. Now, this is you know, it's a red heeler. There's dingo in it, and subspecies of the wolf. So, talking about a high drive little dog, there's sort of I hate to call any dog smart, kind of too smart for their own good, sort of like a Shiba or something. Much more ready to work than a Shiba, that's for sure. She wants to work, it's just she doesn't have enough training, and she's still very young too. So you don't expect it to go easy, and you know, it's like even as a professional trainer, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm going back to yell at the boys because they're doing a locating howl and interrupting our session. I went outside with Toto, and they're doing this locating howl, and it's freaking obnoxious. So I'm going back there, and I'm telling them they better shut their fucking mouth. That's the tone I'm using. Shut up. The fuck are you doing? One, it was distracting for Toto. It's distracting for Toto, so it's not helping the session because you want to build on success. So having the boys back at the, you know, inside doing a locating howl. One, there's another human in the house. Katya was doing something. She's on the computer or something trying to work. You can't work with, you know, 4 male dogs doing a locating howl looking for Toto. That's what they're doing. Toto's about to go in heat. I'm sure that they sense it. Went in there and I gave him a ration of shit. A ration of shit. You better shut up, dogs. You're running our session. You're running our session. This doesn't help. It doesn't help. But the point is this, is that the Toto will move on past this and Toto will be fine. But you can't be unrealistic about your dog or any dog. And all dogs need training. It doesn't go smooth all the time. And you can, just because it doesn't go smooth, you don't give up what you're training the dog to do. And that's the problem, that people don't know what they're doing.
Good girl.
They have jobs, they have whatever, they have issues, they have whatever going on. They can't get it done. You get a dog, you have a responsibility to get the dog trained. You pay for the training so that it can get trained, and then you work with a trainer to show you what to do. If anybody says that they'll, you know, she was taking a dump. They'll train your dog and then they're not going to do lessons with you. You just wasted your money. You wasted your money. You have to learn how to interact with the dog. And by the way, if you're going to use a person that uses food, like a positive reinforcement food trainer, you wasted your money. You wasted it. You can train a dog to jump over a barrel or do a specific task using food. That's a fact. But what you can't train the dog to do using food is train it to be a good citizen in a human world. And that's what we're talking about. These dogs are living in a human world. And we have 4 million dying. We have 4 million people getting bit. 4 million die every year. Did you hear my statistic? 46% of, you know, the dogs that are acquired as puppies are gone within the first year. That stinks. That stinks. Almost half the dogs People get puppies, and almost half those puppies are rehomed or in the system. Almost half. Oh, you think it's going to be different with your dog. You have no experience. You see me doing this, and you think, oh, that's easy. I'll just pick that up, and the dog will put it in its mouth. Bullshit. It's not the way it works. This was hours of conditioning with both these dogs. Neither dog is like you could, I'd tell each owner, you got to be crazy. You can't have this dog just roaming around the house or just go to seed. It'll be like a garden. Like you don't weed the garden. You got to keep working with the dog. These are young dogs. She's doing pretty good here. She did pretty lousy today. We're backtracking right now. We're working on, I'm going back, teaching her hold, so if she drops it, we're using a little ear pressure, which we just skipped over that with Toto. And next time we do this, I will be doing it more like this, just walking her up to the receptacle and making sure she puts it in. Because today, I thought that she'd do it. She did it once, and then she just started having issues. It's too much for her. See how she sort of goes to the left-hand side, though? She's a good dog, man. Toto's great. Don't get me wrong. Toto's great. But you can't expect it to go great all the time. And that's what I'm saying is I'm a professional. I do this for a living. You work on cars, or you're a lawyer, or you work in a bank, or wherever. You work in a restaurant. You think it's going to go good for you? I'm 58. I'm going to be 58. I've been around dogs since I was a kid. And you just say, oh, look, see how the dog does? That dog will do that for me. Bullshit. When a dog leaves after a board and train, it's an issue to start getting the dog to work for the owner. The owner can't just pick up the dog and think that the dog's going to function for him. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I explain this to everybody that does a board and train with me. You got to do a minimum of 3 lessons. I recommend 4, because you have to learn how to hold a leash. That takes everybody 3 lessons, it seems. People can't pick it up. They're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, well, too bad. It takes time. It doesn't make any sense to you. Of course it doesn't. You're a human. You're not born with the ability, knowing how to train a dog. That's bullshit. Anybody that thinks that's bullshit, you have to learn. I learned from my father. You got to learn somewhere. What do you think you're learning from Cesar Millan's show? That's more bullshit. That show is an edited TV show, like Victoria Stilwell's show. It's all edited bullshit. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's not factual. It isn't. It's garbage. It's garbage. Sherry told me that most of those dogs on that show, did not do good after the show was over. She said it's fact. Many of those dogs end up at the dog psychology center. It's all fact.
A lot of heartache.
It's just facts. Do you believe, oh yeah, he rehabilitates dogs, all these key words that you're picking up. Yeah, sure he does. And then he trains humans. Give me a fucking break. Dogs need to learn condition commands, and they need to be conditioned properly over a period of time. If you send the dog off to do a board and train with the dog trainer, you got to step in and start working with the dog. But you got to work with the damn dog trainer first, or else it's not going to go well. And you got to clone yourself into the dog trainer. People are so unrealistic. 4 million dogs die every year. 4 million dogs. 46% of all the puppies that are acquired are rehomed or in a shelter, or in the first year. That's almost half. Why do you think it's going to be any different for you? Why? You think you're so special? You think that because you knew a dog when you were a kid, or whatever, your parents had a dog that was an easy dog, you think it's going to go good for you? Stop having unrealistic expectations. Hey, I'm all for people going to the shelter and getting a dog, but I'm telling you, you don't know the genetics of that dog. You don't. You don't know the drive. You don't know anything. And I'll tell you what, statistically, people that do spend money on dogs and spend money on having their dogs trained have a tendency not to give up the dogs because they have an investment. People that don't have an investment in their dogs have a tendency to get... Tell you what, it's very, very rare. I can't really think of any dog that I've trained that somebody gave up. other than Brewster, and he lives with me because he got dumped because, you know, they didn't want to work with the dog. They wanted to say that it was trained or something, and then they never wanted to work with Brew again. Then the guy got kicked out of the country, and Jesus Christ, didn't want to pay me my money, and you know, a billionaire didn't want to pay me my money.
No.
Nice,
God damn it,
real
put it in
nice
there.
dick.
Good girl.
That's what people are like. They don't care. You know, oh look, I'm getting a deal. I don't have to pay this dog trainer. I'm just gonna give him Brew. That's what this guy was like. That's what it came down to. Like, he paid partial and said, and you get to keep the dog. Oh gee, thanks. Like, I want another dog. I don't want another dog. I have my own pets. I you know, the shoemaker's children have no shoes.
No, go put it in there, man.
See, she's sort of giving me a little bit of trouble. Not doing bad here. I'm gonna go back. Like, today she was horrible, but we went too fast. But it was good because she screwed up, and I realized that I needed to go over
Go put it in there.
hold
Go put it in there.
with a little ear pressure. So we're gonna do that probably tomorrow, and then we're gonna go redo it like we're doing here. Have her walk to him, and then I'll do it halfway. Cause today I went out there and she did the whole length once, and then all of a sudden she just started screwing up. It's too much for her. Too much excitement. Excitement's the point where all dogs make a mistake. They bark, lunge, bite, or just don't listen. That's a fact.
Okay, go put it in there.
Excitement is not a plus. You see a dog and it's excited, and you say, "Oh, isn't the dog happy?" Listen, they can be happy and not be excited. It's a fact. It's just a fact. Excited dogs bite. All right. First they lunge. First they growl, bark, lunge, bite, like that. It's a fact. So if the dog's lunging, it's gonna bite you. It's gonna bite. You better respond, and you better know how to respond. If you don't, you better get help quick. You love the dog. Give me a break. How many times have I heard this? You love that dog until that dog bites you, or your kid, or someone else, and then you're ready to get rid of that dog so quick because you feel betrayed. You feel betrayed by a species that's a subspecies of the wolf. You're a fool for getting the dog in the first place. Those are the facts. Just foolish. Absolutely foolish. Just like the, you know, owners of the 4 million dogs that are put down in shelters, and the owners, the 46%, you know, to get the puppy and then give up the dog the first year. You stink. You people stink.